Hello and welcome to the Flock Hosting Update for March 2017. Yes, I did have to look at my show notes because I'm tired. It has been a busy month. Month of February was busy, but blessed. Had some good things, bad things, more credit card issues, and even the theft of my credit card. So, it's been one of those months, but here we lead into March. As I said, I was going to probably do these bi-monthly, but as I look at April, and April will likely be a busy one, I figured why not get into March, and who knows, I may get this monthly. So right off the bat, let's go over some things going on here this month. Some big things, some little things, some things of all sizes. So let's go through it. I've got a couple points. We'll go through them. Hopefully keep it under the 3-hour mark. First and foremost is server updates. We've had a lot going on in the realm of servers, kernel issues. A couple people have asked about stability issues. Some people are saying that one server is not as active as the other, that it's slow. They got another site on another server, it's fast, and going back and forth. And we've had some issues even with Jetpack, which is part of the WordPress plugin, which has a lot of cool functionality, including site monitoring, which is offering a lot of mixed results because on one end, we see everything from remote monitoring that I do as saying everything's golden. However, Jetpack has announced on a couple sites that things have been down for multiple hours. I've seen this across multiple servers that I do management for outside of Flock Hosting as well, and it's become a little bit troublesome. I don't know, I haven't really got a chance to reach out to Jetpack to say, hey, do you guys have problems with networks? Is there issues? Let me see. What is the qualifications even of why things would be down? Because in one case we found that someone's update of WordPress had gotten locked, and because it said we were down for temporary maintenance, which is what it does when it updates some big things in WordPress, it was reporting that as an outage, not that it was an outage. It was more of a downtime because of enough. Anywho, we're going to look into that a little bit more, see if we can find some official information from WordPress on what Jetpack tracks. If you guys are interested, though, at any given time, you will note that I'm going to have a link included, probably put some here in the actual video, but it'll be a link in the show notes as well to the status page for the core Flock Hosting servers. This doesn't include customer servers. This doesn't include a lot of the other things that are specialty and stuff. Some of those are elsewhere, and if you are a customer that interacts with those, you'll see them and they'll be in a different status page that you have access to, and you probably already do. But this one I've built out, it's all the key Flock Hosting stuff, so you can have an idea of what's going on because of server reboots, which is what this whole entire line of dialogue is about. Because of security updates and different things, we do need to take and process a few reboots. I've already done Lily the other day, so you'll note some downtime in that, and it's about 2 minutes. Be about the same for each server over the process of the next couple of days, just working slowly to make sure everything is up to date, everything is lined up, and everything's running smoothly, because I want you guys to have as little downtime as possible, because on top of everything else, I do this at between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So somewhere in that window, you'll have a brief outage of maybe 2 to 5 minutes at worst, hopefully less if all things go even smoother than predicted. So server reboots are coming. It should be minimal impact. If you have any questions, concerns, etc., you can get a hold of me on the communicate page, the discuss page, send me an email, open a ticket, whatever you need to do, I'm here to answer your questions. Number 2 on the list is PayPal. PayPal has become a little bit of a pain, and I don't know who's to blame. I don't know if it's PayPal. I don't know if it's some update that I missed. So I've reached out to PayPal support over the process of this weekend, hopefully getting something back soon from them on what we can do to make sure this is resolved. The problem at hand is, and if you were getting overdue notices, I'm working hard to try to track them. But it's not always easy because I have ones that blend in with other things, and it's just been busy, and since it doesn't act as a ticket, doesn't give me anything other than non-payment, I don't always know. So if you are a user of PayPal, please get in touch with me if you have the transaction ID and stuff, so I can look that up for my own records just to cross-reference to make sure the proper numbers get into your billing, so I can always look back and historically see what's what. That'd be great. If not, just open a ticket and let me know that, hey, I paid, it's saying I didn't, and we'll get it squared away as soon as possible. Again, if I can get this patched up with a billing system or PayPal or whoever is the in-between of why this is happening, we'll get it solved, and then it will be a thing of the past, hopefully very, 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 very soon. But on that same thread, if you haven't noted the last video, please do keep in mind the billing will show up as Thrust Networks. I still am trying to see if I can get it to show up as Flock Hosting, so I do apologize for the confusion. I've had a couple calls, I've had more disputes. It's been a lot of craziness with the financial end of Flock Hosting the last month or so, and then to, like I said at the very beginning, to have the credit card for the company stolen and used in Singapore. So whoever is out there in Singapore, Hope you enjoyed your Uber ride that you had. And let's see, what else we got? Migrations, kind of along the same thread as the first part with the reboots. I've been working actively to bring everyone to a more modern, more built, more current setup of things. And there's a couple servers that already take advantage of this. However, those are customer servers. Those aren't necessarily the core Flock hosting stuff. And as always, I'd like to keep you guys kind of brought in as things have been tested and they're tried and true and they're working a lot smoother, and so that's where we're leading. Lily, Grace Church, and Fellowship are all going to be moved to new hardware. I currently have new hardware lined up already for Grace. Lily will probably be set up and built out this week. Some funds that I was waiting for to come through on that came through, so we're going to take and get the hardware purchased. Hopefully, if we can get these done in between, get people moved, get migrated, it'd be great. There's going to be a little bit more in the show notes about this because I don't want to talk for 3 hours on the ins and outs of how this is going to happen. But the short version is there is a MySQL password conflict, and the issue with that is once we make the move, the passwords will no longer be considered secure. And so what the server will do, again, this is short version, trust me, the notes I can make it much longer. We're going to need to change passwords, and at the very least even just reinsert your original password, and it's just how it is stored. It needs to be more secure. So check the show notes. I'll give a quick video rundown in that as well on just how you go through, how you would do it, how you would apply it, and where you'd find the information if you had, say, WordPress auto-installed by Self-Doculus. We'll get it squared away, and as always, through this process, if you have a part of your site that's down, again, the emails will be going out to each server as I get prepared to do it, and it will give you guys instructions on this very stuff, as well as some basic information on how you can make this transaction and transition as smooth as possible. So stay tuned on that. Hopefully in the next 1 to 2 weeks, I'm going to start hopefully with Lily or Grace first, get them done, then church hosting, we're going to move you guys as soon as possible. And again, this will be a very big migration for church hosting because there are 2 very full servers moving to 2 new servers, and yeah, we're going to do our best. Again, as always, if you guys have questions, concerns, or worries, again, same as the first, get in touch with me. I'll help you guys understand better, but check the show notes for some detailed information. This past week, I had someone ask how they could donate. They said their tax return was coming, they wanted to be gracious, they wanted to provide, and to that I say, hey, thank you. I wish I was a nonprofit organization in which I could take church hosting donations and give you guys a receipt back, because just as they're giving me something from their tax time, I'd like to be able to give something back. However, as it stands, I'm still not a nonprofit. I'm looking, and I've been looking into the idea of splitting church hosting into a separate entity to become a nonprofit and deal with all that separately from the main business. But as it stands, it's still just if you make a donation, you're sending money to Flock Hosting. It's not tax deductible. But should you want to, you can go to crowd.flockhosting.com. It's 100% secure. It uses Stripe and uses PayPal as our payment options. Again, these are not tax deductible. These will sadly act as income for me, but again, it helps cover the bills of church hosting and allows me to do even cooler and funner things, like the church software that was mentioned on the Discuss forum recently. Some cool stuff. I'll link to that as well. So if you have any desire to make donations, there used to be a donate $1. I removed that because sadly it wasn't flexible enough to take and be a variable, and so people were adding $1 onto their hosting accounts a month, and it was billing separately, and after transactions and everything else, it really just didn't add up. So this is a different way if you want to do it, if you have an amount that you would like to. Again, it is not a required thing. I thank you guys, and I'm blessed by you guys who do make donations. It does help keep church hosting an easy to run thing. One person even wrote once, go buy yourself something nice and take a nap. I appreciate that as well. Social networking is the next up on there. For those of you who are not big Facebookers, Twitterers, we'll figure out a good word for that. But anyway, if you're not a fan of Twitter or Flock Hosting's Facebook page, etc., then this really doesn't apply to you. But those of you who do, stay tuned. I'm going to, over the next week, I've been really working to try to schedule out some cool posts and everything else that I can put on all of our social media. This, and by all, I mean Google+, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram is coming soon, but Instagram, since it only takes photos and requires me to log into my phone, take and submit the already thing, it's a little bit more trouble than it's worth. But even in the Instagram, I'm going to try to see what I can do to work out something that's a little bit cooler, a little funner, maybe just even some of the inspirational scriptures and encouragement posts, etc. Those are going to be a big part. But 2, I'm going to be linking to some stuff on the discussion forum, as well as hopefully in the next week, as I get some things recorded, into the actual vlog style format for that's going to be coming to the blog, because we're going to be having, as I said in the last show, a setup of what you can do with Flock hosting. So stay tuned for all of that. If you are not tied into social networking, I'm also working on the newsletter. If you are unaware how to log into the net newsletter or subscribe, unsubscribe, etc., I will leave a link to the show notes as well on how you can get into that, and I'll make sure you guys have an option to take and get that squared away. Last but not least on the list, thank you so much for those of you who remember my birthday. It's not one of those things that it's a requirement that you know your web hosting company's birthday, but at the same time, for those of you who have been around for years upon years upon years upon years, it is great to know for the last decade some of you guys have kept that idea that, hey, it's Chuck's birthday. I even was blessed enough to actually get a gift, which was not happened before, but I received a $25 Amazon gift card. Thank you so much for that, and it will go to good use to take and buy something fun, probably a movie or a book or who knows what it will buy. But I appreciate you guys keeping track of that. The big year of 37 this year, and it's been a busy year. It's been a crazy year. Again, as I posted on my Facebook page, not exactly what I imagined for my birthday this year, but I've survived, I'm alive, and leading into 37, saying, God, you're in control, and just letting God have the reins, because I want to see what He's got prepared for Flock hosting, aside from just what I pray on and what I look at and what I build and what I say, this is good. I want what is good that God has planned for this new year for me on this earth. So with that said, I would thank you guys for taking the time to watch. We almost made the 10-minute mark, but it's slightly over. As always, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, you can post them in the show notes here on the blog. You can post them on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you need to get a touch of me with prayer request, hey, what's up, hey, what can I do, etc., you can take and get on the communicate page, and there's a lot of different ways to get in touch. And if you have any questions ever at all, again, email is always open. Please make sure that your contact information is up to date, because I import that entire email list from the billing system into my address book, so it makes sure that you guys are whitelisted, and always avoid the spam box. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a blessed month of March. It's going to be a busy one around here, but as always, if you guys have questions, get in touch, and we'll see you guys in the next video.